We're running a bit late, so I'm going to rush through this session to try and get us a bit back on time. So I'm going to probably skip some of the things I was going to go through. If you need me to explain something for later, can you hear me now? Yeah? We're a bit late running this session, so I'm going to run through the session quickly, just give you an idea of NBStore. If people want more detail, they could perhaps catch me later on. I'm here all night tonight because I'm stopping, so you can catch me later on if you're here. But I'm going to try and rush through it, so try and save some time. Okay, so my name's David Lee. I'm from Nevoweb. We write a module which is open source called NBStore. What we're about to release, should I say, is a beta version of NBStore version 2.4, which has changed in the way that we're moving from a VB-based system to a C#-based system, and we've incorporated in some new templating systems in there to help do this. So I'm quickly actually going to first of all go through what NBStore does. So I'm going to give people that don't know the module a quick view of the capabilities that it has. I'm going to give you a quick view then of the demo of the front office, the new front office, which has been developed by a guy in New Zealand called Robert Oxford. And basically this displays all the products and the category trees. Then I'll go through quickly the migration to the C# and the new database structure that we have, and something I call template-driven data applications, which is basically a new templating system that we're using for NBStore and some other modules. And basically I'll go through how NBStore works with this new templating system and the next stages of development. Like I said, we're running very late, so that was my intention to go through all of this, but it might well be that we have to skip a bit. So, first of all, what can an NBStore do? I'm going to have a quick look at Coplex to point it out to you. And I'm just going to... Does this one work? Yes. I'm just going to use this one so that I can sit down while I'm talking and work my way through it. So we'll have a look at the Coplex and then the DNN modules that actually make NBStore. And I'll give you a quick demo with the back office. So we can basically find NBStore and all the source on Coplex, on a place called NBStore Coplex, so we can't connect to the internet. Okay, I'm sure we can fix that in a second. Give me a minute. Yeah, they've changed the password, and I do know it. It's not prompting me now, though. Yeah.
David, you've got the number 6. I think you're on the wrong one.
I was told number 5. Although it's connected to, yeah, number 5. Seems connected now. Okay. Where were we? Right, let's start again. Skip through. So, NBStore and Coplex. So, obviously one of the advantages of being open source is that you can get hold of the source code and customize it to your own needs. All the source code and the downloadables are found on Coplex at nbstore.coplex. We've basically got a list, we've got some documentation that's all listed here. We've got a demo store and some screenshots. And Jeff Barlow, new MVP, has loaded up a lot of sites that he's done with NBStore. And we've got a set of documentation that's been done up that's been created by the community. It's far from full. One of the biggest problems of doing open source systems is that documentation is always the first thing to fail. The discussion forum is quite large. We've got, you know, hundreds of discussions in there, and we try and answer the questions. The project's been going for 6 years now, so most answers are in there. Probably very many of them are quite old.
You're using Git?
Using, sorry, what?
Using Git as version control or not?
I mean, yes, in the source code, it's using Git to do all the source code. Yeah, it used to be SVN, but Coplex has moved. If you ask Coplex, they actually move it for you. Yeah, they automatically move it for you. So it's using Git, and you can fork. There's 2 forks already. You can send pull requests if you change the code and everything. And you've got some downloads. We have version 2.4 and still in alpha at the moment. And there's a document on how to set it up. I was going to go into that a bit more, but I think we're going to run out of time, so I'll quickly skip that. But the document there basically goes through the steps of how you set it up in Visual Studio and how you can compile it. Where are we? Let's go back to the slide. So I'll skip the feature list. Well, should we? Oh my goodness, what happened there? Let's start again. Yeah, the feature list is quite long. It's quite full. We've got everything that NBStore does kind of matches most e-commerces, but obviously the documentation is lacking in NBStore. And visually, I was looking at PrestaShop just last week, and visually, PrestaShop looks a lot more impressive in the back office. However, if you actually look at what it can do, it's not doing that much more than NBStore is anyway. So basically, when you install NBStore, it's one installation package. It installs into DNN, and it creates 7 modules. These are the 7 modules for version 2.4. There's something wrong with the mouse here. It keeps going backwards. So the 7 modules, once you install the modules, then you've got the modules that you can actually place together to actually create your e-commerce. I'll show a demo quickly of that. So this is basically a quick demo I've got running on the laptop because we've got issues with the internet connection here. So it's something I just built quickly yesterday to make sure that I could actually show something. And what we have is a back office. I think it's gone to sleep. We'll have to just wait for it to load up. But basically we've got the back office, we've got a product and a checkout on here. So I'll just quickly go through all the back office showing you the functionalities that are in there. In version 2.4, there's not that much has changed in the back office. It's more of a case of the code moving and migrating to a new database and the C# and integrating into a new templating system. So basically there's a dashboard and you can create reports as a first thing. So you can create reports. The reports are basically a SQL-based reporting system where you can add values in as parameters to run it, and these reports can go on the scheduler. I'm just quickly going to skip through all the functionality because I think if you load it up yourself, you can quickly find everything. Basically, obviously the main important thing is the products. So if you go into the products works on the basis of information with the product name, and then you've got a rich text field for extra information, and you've got categories that the product can belong to, models that the product has, so you can have multiple models, images, documents that can be attached. They can be downloadable so people can purchase them and then download them. Options that you can be placed on, so you can have an unlimited amount of options that are placed onto it. And related products, and then there's an overview that can be seen. There's also obviously basically what you always need in e-commerce is a category system. So there's a category structure that you can build the entire category structure from. The stock screen allows you to basically edit the product stock and prices in one field, in one table, rather than going in and out of each product individually. We've got no orders in here. I might run one through in a bit, but basically you can actually maintain your orders and edit your orders from the back office as well and create orders. There's a shipping system that is built into the NBStore. You can actually break out and have an interface for shipping, but there's one already in there, and you can build up all the shipping requirements in there by weight, price, quantity, country, product. The same thing for tax, where you've got a tax system at category level, product level. We've also got sales, promotions. You can have coupons, category discounts, and cart discounts based on what people have got in their basket and what products are there. And then there's a utility system for all the settings, a templating system for all the emails, and the display of different products. This is changing slightly in version 2.4 because we're using a new templating system, but we've left this one here for backward compatibility at the moment. There's an import and export system, so you can actually import and export all your products and images and then import them into a different NBStore version. And you can also actually import in CSV files if you specify which files to come in. And then a basic administration thing to do store validations and purge files and everything there. So that's basically a tour of the back office, which is, it's a quick tour of the back office. So I haven't gone into much detail, but as you can see, all the necessary functionality for an e-commerce is built into there, so that you can actually run a full e-commerce system using this module. In 2.4, I'm just going to skip straight into quickly demoing the front office to try and save a bit of time. But in 2.4, what we have is a new templating system, and we have a new kind of look for the default theme that we use. We've also got a new category menu, which is, in this case, we're using a tree view menu, but there's two modes for this. There's a drill down version and there's a tree view version. And when you look at the products, we've got a different view. It's a bit squished on this screen. It's squished, but you've got all the information for this product listed on the screen with a light box. And this is still an alpha version at the moment, and this here is actually a breadcrumb of where the product is, although we've not got any styling on it at the moment. And obviously you've got the situation where you can create options and select to buy a model. Once you buy it, it then goes into the checkout system, where you've got a checkout and you go through the checkout and order it. So I'll quickly create one. I'm not sure. I've not run through this on this version because I just built it yesterday. I built it on DNN 7.3, the beta. So if it goes wrong, it's not my fault. And it's gone wrong. There we go. So I don't know whether there's obviously some issue there. Obviously, this is still an alpha at the moment, and I built it yesterday, so I've not had time to test it. So I'm not going to, because we're short on time, I'm not going to chase that up. I'll leave it to the side. But we do have a new search engine. One of the problems with the old version 2.3 is the search was very simple, and you could only do a limited amount with it. What we've done, we've improved that so that we've got the normal search, and what we have now is a system where we can, if we go into the settings of it, we've got a settings system which has themes, which has options that you can turn on. So we can turn on stock, price range, we can search by category, we can search if it's cascading or not, select which parent. We can also search multiple category groups, so you can have, if you see in e-commerce systems, very often they have multiple groups, and you want a product that's in this group, and this group, with some search criteria. You can now do that in NBStore through the default template. So when you activate that, you obviously got the situation. You can check only items in stock and in which categories you want to do the search. So when you click that, it'll limit it to the based on this search. This search is all template driven, which is the new change for the version 2.4. I'm going to quickly move on to, let's go back to the slideshow. I'm trying to base this through quickly, but basically what's happening is we're going to migrate NBStore now from the VB code, which exists now, which was getting towards the end of its life. It was becoming over-versioned, basically. So the decision has been made to try and move that code to a new structure and a new database structure, so that we can actually prolong the life of the module itself and hopefully expand it in the future. The plan is to have release 2.4, which will basically have a new product view, a new search module, and category menu, which are all going to be template driven using the new system. During this, we're going to have a period of a migration database where the tables of the back office then update through triggers the new template, the new table structure. And that will continue for 2.5 when we move the checkout and the mini cart and the order history. And then when we move to version 3, the back office will directly update the new database tables, at which case we're going to, in which time we're going to then remove the triggers, so that we've done a full migration over the period of 2 or 3 versions. And the old code at that point and the old database can then be dropped. So at that point we'll have completely moved to a new C# version with new code and a new database structure and a new coding structure, which will give us a lot more flexibility for future development. The new C# code is basically using a new framework that we've created. We call it Embright. It's basically a templating system. If we go into the core, it's on Codeplex. So there's three new projects on Codeplex for it. This is the core system. I'll show you this code in a bit. There's not much on Codeplex at the moment apart from the source code. Yeah. So we're very short on time, so I'll quickly probably close this off. But basically we have this Embright core system, which is a new framework. It then uses a DLL which attaches to it, and this is the interface between the core templating system and the .NET Nuke system. The new templating system is what I call it's a template-driven data application. So instead of just a normal templating system, we'll take data that exists in the database already, take that data and display it for you. With this templating system, what we've done, we've tried to get rid of the problems that you have that take time, where you have a designer saying, I need this field in order to do my design, and that goes back to the programmer, who has to pick up that field, change all the database, change the data application layer, recompile, retest, and do all the scripts for it, changing all the sprocs, and just adding a simple field can probably take an experienced programmer all morning to get it right and actually move it live. Now that's a massive amount of time, and if as soon as you've done it, the designer comes back to you and says, oh, I forgot that field, which they always do, then you've got to do it all again. So to get over that kind of time loss for this system, I wanted to try and save as much time as possible. So I created a tokening system where if you add a field token, that field will automatically persist back to the database as an XML object in the database, and then persist back so that you can display it after. The idea is that instead of spending all morning recompiling code and the designer waiting for the developer to finish it, the designer themselves can actually change the template, create themselves a setting that they need or a data value that they need. That automatically persists to the database and actually is brought back from the database, so that the developer doesn't even have to get involved in many circumstances. So instead of the developer having 80% of the work in order to change the databases for the system, the designer can actually take over some of that workload. So it splits the work a lot better. It's a lot more efficient, and it's a lot quicker to develop in a team scenario. The end result. So, and this is the major change that we've got with version 2.4. I'm out of time really, but that's the basic nutshell of the templating system. I think I'm going to stop now. If anybody wants to know more about the templating system, then come and talk to me, and I can perhaps go through what I was going to go through and give you some examples on my laptop. And I'm going to pass it on to Peter now so that we can try and get back onto time. Okay? Thank you.
Good, yeah,